The official protest here in downtown Phoenix ended around 7:30, but now we're following crowds that have continued to stay outside, sort of just roaming and splitting up into massive groups. And as you may be able to hear, Phoenix police are now trying to enforce this curfew that's in place for 8 o'clock. So we're on Central Avenue right now, and we're heading north. Take a listen.
I declare this to be an unlawful assembly in the name of the people of the state of Arizona, and command all persons so assembled at this location to immediately and peacefully disperse. Arizona Revised Statute 13-2902 prohibits remaining present at an unlawful assembly, and if you do not disperse, you will be subject to arrest. You need to leave this area immediately.
So those are the orders you hear from Phoenix police. It's worth noting that the news media, credentialed news media, is allowed to be out here past 8 o'clock to document what's happening, which is what we're doing. If you know this area in downtown Phoenix, to the north of me on Central, a crowd of a couple of hundred continues to march. South of us, back on Van Buren, another 100 or more broke off and were marching south. We saw police in SWAT gear lined up back there. We're now trying to catch up with this group to see what kind of interaction there may be between police and citizens. But if you can see there in the distance, it's tough. We're going to try to catch up. They're in a massive group. They passed through a Bank of America parking lot, and somebody smashed a Bank of America ATM. That's the damage that we've seen here tonight so far. And again, this protest earlier was nothing but a lot of energy, positivity, chants. It even ended with a prayer. There were a couple of kids involved in the protest itself, and hundreds of people coming together from, we saw just different walks of life, ages, cultures, protesting, asking for, demanding police reform. And now, those that are left or others that have joined them, now that the sun is down and the curfew is in force, they're clearly out to, if not get attention, possibly make trouble. And they're marching and almost taunting police to follow them, try to catch up with them. And they've already done some damage. So we're now at McKinley and Central, looking to our east, where you see a huge group now marching back towards the south. They're almost doing circles here. It's almost a cat and mouse game with protesters and police. Above us, a law enforcement helicopter gives us a good idea of where the bulk of this crowd is heading, because it's constantly following them, and you see a spotlight down in the general area of where the crowd is headed. Complicating this, probably from a law enforcement perspective, is the fact that the vast majority of these marchers, rioters, what you want to call them, are masked. And so, obviously tougher to identify who's involved. For example, at that ATM that was damaged, a couple of the guys who took a skateboard to it, and some other object were likely, it looked like they were masked. If you have cameras on that place, you probably can't identify them. We're going to keep trying to catch up with this crowd. And we'll bring you an update here on Facebook Live as soon as possible.